Hi guys, Harry Otis here, professional trader for 20 years now. Started my career in 2005, still alive in 2026. Okay, well, today, Thursday, the 9th of July, the market is bid. It's up 0.85%, a green day on a consolidation pattern at highs. We're saying it's looking very, very good. Okay, and of course, today, the news is that the semis are bid. Just yesterday, everybody hated the sector for the past couple of days, let's say, or a week. And now I guess they're loving it again. Okay, we'll get to that and what it means going forward. It's important to understand the semis in the context of the market because they are the leading sector and they should perform well going forward. Okay, so first let's talk about the technical picture. It's bullish. We're still above the 50 in red. We were hugging it. And now we're a bit higher. We're approaching the highs. We're literally maybe 1% from highs. I don't know. Very, very close. We have the consolidation, a sideways pattern. Okay. This is almost like a Mark Minervini type of volatility contraction. You have one down move here that's big, second down move that's big, and this less than the first one. And this third one is very, very small and ripping higher. This could be like a classic growth stock pattern where it breaks to the upside after after this big up move consolidation, break to the upside from a consolidation type pattern where volatility contracts, and we've seen volatility is very, very low. Okay, so technically speaking, bullish in any way you can look at it. I don't see a bearish pattern except for here, the series of lower highs that we mentioned here. Well, it's broken now, so I don't know what the bears have in mind except a couple of things that are, I don't know, more emotionally driven instead of like some kind of fundamental technical, or even sentimental driven factors, which I don't have. Okay, because I don't see anything but bullishness in the technical picture. The sentiment factors, well, what do we have here? Well, there's no fear. They're back to neutral. Okay, we have plenty of room to go to greed and extreme greed. Okay, everything is moving to the greed sector of the underlying indices except the breadth. This is what I think is going to explode the market really, really high if it reverses, okay? And the put call options are neutral. There's nothing really to say here. I mean, we have plenty of fuel to go and break into new highs, okay? And of course, on Thursday, we had the AAII Investor Sentiment Survey, and it's saying the same thing. Last week, as the market went down a bit, bears came out. I keep saying the bears are lingering. This gives you a longer term view of what to expect, but you have to read it correctly, okay? Because here the bears have retreated to 37.2%, but still higher than the average of 31%. And the bulls are at 36%, which is basically the average of 37.5. So bullishness is average, and there's still a lot of bears. These guys have to get obliterated, and it doesn't happen fast. It happens over a series of weeks, maybe months, okay? A couple of months, even 1 month, We need to have these bears completely disappear. That's why I'm bullish. They're still there. They're still, talking their game at the highs. Okay, we want to see these guys obliterated down to the 20% level or maybe 25, whatever, for a long time. So that's why we have this bullishness here. Everything is confirming the sentiment, the technicals, even the fundamentals are strong. Okay, the fundamentals have every piece of fundamental news that we've had is strong. Okay, speaking of which, the initial claims today, we have 215,000 initial claims came out for July 4th. Okay, nothing, we're still within, nothing's happening. Okay, another bullish fundamental play. Okay, not to mention the most important is earnings growth. The earnings growth of S&P 500 has been revised upwards. Okay, so you have everything on your side as a bull, and yet people are still negative. Okay, I don't get it. We'll see. This is what drives bull markets, a wall of worry. And we had the consolidation. We break out even higher. The new highs, we have plenty of fuel to do that. Okay, so let's get to the big story of the day is the semis. Okay, we've been following this because it's been the sector that's been driving everything. Look at this move higher. Okay, and then it broke down. Okay, it broke down. People say, it's over, it's break. Everybody's looking for a negativity in this strong sector. Okay, let's bring in the moving averages. We said it hit the 50 on the SMH. It's a good chance to buy. The first touch of the 50 after a breakout to new highs is generally speaking, a bullish sign. Okay, but people want to see this crack. Okay, I don't think it does. You have to go with the odds. The odds are that it continues to go higher, but anything can happen. I hope that we got this bid on SMH. It could roll over again. Okay, you have no idea. It could roll over and retest and even break the 50. You have no idea yet. Okay, I just like the fact that this is the strongest sector, and if the market goes up, it's going to drag this sector up too. Now maybe it underperforms, but it could still continue to go higher. Okay, what you have here is potentially for the bears, like we noticed, a friend of mine noticed on X, Mr. David Shepard. Good job noticing that we do have a pattern, a potential, let's say potential because it hasn't happened yet, a potential, okay, for a head and shoulders, not just on the SMH, but on individual stocks like on Mu, which we'll get to soon, Micron. But if it goes higher and then fails, you have a head and shoulders pattern. Of course, I don't really play much into that because a lot of head and shoulders patterns have failed. I'm not really into the pattern per se. I'm not into like the predictive nature of technical patterns because they generally don't play out. There's no predictive nature to them. I just like to go with a trend. You see the fundamentals are strong, and then I use the technicals as an excuse for timing to go along my fundamentals, okay? So the technicals are the last piece of the puzzle. You should not use just the technicals for a trading idea because here you would generally be suckered into the, if it does go up and then lower, okay, you'd be suckered into a bearish bet where yes, the technicals might look bearish, but you have the sentiment that is bullish because it's contrarian and it's going to be negative, and you have the fundamentals that are bullish. So you're going against two of the three pillars of the game, and the most important of which is the fundamentals. Okay, so you don't want to do that. You don't want to go against the fundamental picture. Okay, you want to go with it. So you want to find excuses to go with it because that's where the high probability trades are. You're going to have a much higher chance of success going along with the trend than trying to like time a reversal pattern. Okay, especially in this case, this is a leading sector. You want to go long. Okay, and yesterday we did a trade on Mu. Okay, Mu. This is the head and shoulders pattern that Mr. David Shepard noticed a potential here. If it goes higher, it's the same thing like as the SMH. But again, we're looking for the 50 here. Yesterday is when I decided to go long by selling puts. I sold the 700. Let's write it down here. I sold the 700. 700 puts. Okay, that expire next Friday. So why did I do that? Okay, like if you looked, okay, we don't know exactly. Maybe we could retest the lows here. This is why I didn't want to go outright long on the first move because I don't know. It could go even lower. We have no idea what's going on. People could buy a lot of calls in the days and weeks to come as the SPY goes to new highs. People are going to start buying calls here for sure. Okay, so you have Mu and semiconductors they're going to be piling on long, and it might go higher here before going lower again. But this short put will print because you can be wrong here. It can go against you and you can still make money, okay? Because it expires worthless in the short time frame that it will expire at, which is next week. Okay, so you can't be wrong and still make money doing this. And the IV, the implied volatility of the puts was like at 130%. Very, very high. So you want to be a seller of premium in those cases, okay? So that's why I did this way. I think we make money on this. It's a very high probability trade. And if it goes lower, I'm going to add another long type trade on Mu, okay? But you don't have to do it on Mu. You can do it on AMD. Is actually much stronger. Look at it, right at the highs. Okay, let's get rid of the moving averages here. Look at it, even better than Micron. Okay, this would be another potential move, but it didn't go far enough. It didn't go low enough. Okay, because if you did see the moving average, if we bring in the moving averages again, it didn't touch the 50. Okay, so this is a very strong one. This is the strongest one so far out of the ones that we saw. Okay, so yes, this is a very positive sector, the semiconductor sector, that you want to go long at. Okay, let's just kill this thing here because I don't like clutter. Okay, so the lesson is you want to go long with the trend. Okay, don't get cute. It's actually quite simple. Don't try to find emotional excuses to like time a reversal when it's not really there. Okay, you don't have anything else on your side besides the technicals. Don't go for a reversal. You need to have everything. You need to have the fear and greed here at extreme greed or greed. Okay, you need to have these guys, a lot of greed. You have to. Then you would know to go short, because it's very, very difficult, guys. I've been trading long and short. I almost lose on almost all my shorts. And I'm not including like shorting puts, which is a long strategy. I'm talking about like shorting the market. It's very difficult. Okay, it's usually done as a hedge, and they usually don't win, and the longs pay for the losses of the shorts. Okay, you don't want to go against the trend. You want to go with it. You want to find excuses to go with it. Okay, this is not a reversal time. The market doesn't reverse when it's already went down to fear, extreme fear, and it's going to go. I mean, if it does go down, it doesn't have a lot of room to go down, and there's no catalyst. There's no reverse catalyst besides, the only thing you can think of is it just looks parabolic. It looks high. It looks quote unquote that it should go down. No, don't do that. Okay. So before we leave the semiconductor space, I'd like to bring up one more thing that's coming up that I don't think anybody's talking about, is that South Korea's Hynix NASDAQ listing may become the second largest equity offering ever, okay? So the South Korean market, let's go back to here, the KOSPI, is basically a side play on the AI move, because it's all semiconductor. It's two stocks, semiconductors, and that's it. So, and it's been going down. Like another proof that, just because the KOSPI is going down doesn't mean that we're going down, okay? Because the KOSPI went from it's in a bear market, down 20%, 18, yeah, maybe down 20%. So it's technically in a bear market. Still looks good though. It's not that bad. Okay, but one of the two major stocks of the KOSPI index is going to be listed as an ADR, as a depository receipt that you can buy in the States. Okay, so look at our semiconductor sector is doing way better than the KOSPI. Okay, so just look at our sector. Forget about derivative plays. Okay, so if this, Friday, it's going to come out tomorrow. Friday's new share listing of SK South Korea Hynix might be a huge move. Okay, the symbol is going to be SKHYUS, and we want to see that. We want to see how it's going to be one of the biggest ones. Okay, it'll exceed the IPO of Saudi Aramco in 2019 at 25.6 billion, and Alibaba. Okay, and Alibaba at 25 billion. Okay, so this is another catalyst, another boom in the semiconductor space. Now we can finally trade the South Korean semi company if you want. It's just another addition that might help boost the sector going into tomorrow. Okay, so yes, this sector is a bullish sector, and we want to be long the bullish sector going forward. Okay, so that's it, guys. Okay, stay long the semis. This market is very bullish. It's consolidating at highs. We have a sort of VC, volatility contraction pattern here, a la Minervini pattern. So it looks like if it breaks to the upside, it's going to be very, very bullish. The technicals are always, you don't even need that pattern. You can just see it's consolidating at the highs, and we've alleviated a lot of the overbought conditions that we had before at this big move. So now we're at neutral, plenty of fuel to go higher, and we're trading above the 50. It's like everything, it checks all the boxes, okay, for a bullish move and a continuation move to the upside. We have the sentiment in our side. We can still go much, much higher. AAII is more long-term, and still bears are out there, okay? I haven't seen the bearishness in the 20s. I can't remember in 2026. I can't remember it going to low 20s or something like that, okay? We also had the initial claims coming in, so another fundamental print is on our side as being bulls. So, and the semis are bid. So guys, we don't know what the semis will happen going forward. Okay, I'm just saying you want to stick bullish. You want to stick as a bull, stay as a bull in a bullish sector in a bullish market. All right. So let's see what happens on Friday. How do we close? Maybe we test the highs again. I suspect the South Korea listing might boost the markets higher. I don't know. Let's see. All right, guys. Catch you later.